Good morning to everyone. Uh, in this subject of kinematics and theory of machine, so far we have discussed about the introductory chapter of this subject, and in that introductory chapter, we have studied about various kinds of links. Then we have studied about different kinds of pairs, and by using that pair, how it will convert it into mechanism, and that mechanism is utilized as a machine. We have studied about Robust criteria and how we can identify that the kinematic chain is a structure or a constrained chain or a unconstrained chain. As well as we have seen certain inversions of a 4-bar chain. We have also seen certain inversion of a single slider crank mechanism, and last we have talked about the inversion of a double slider crank mechanism. So in this lecture we are going to start one new chapter, which is CAM. It is CAM. So what is CAM? So generally a cam is a rotating machine element which gives reciprocating or oscillating motion to another element, which is known as a follower. So in cam mechanism we have two elements. First element is known as a cam, and second element it is known as a follower. So what cam will do? Cam will give reciprocating or oscillating motion to the follower. Okay, from the name you can easily understand that it will follow. What it will follow? The follower will follow the motion which is given by a cam. And what kind of motion that a cam can give? It can give a reciprocating motion or a oscillating motion. The cam and follower have a line contact here. It is important. Cam and follower has a line contact, and that's why it is known as a higher pair. We have also studied about the higher pair and lower pair in our introductory chapter. So when we have a area contact or surface contact between the two elements, then it is known as a lower pair. And when we have a line contact or point contact, then it is known as a higher pair. So in this cam and follower we have a line contact, and that's why it is a higher pair. The cams are usually rotated at a uniform speed. Okay, it is not always necessary, but usually it will be rotated at uniform speed by a shaft. But the follower motion is predetermined and will be according to the shape of the cam. So this is important thing. The motion of that cam is generally uniform, but the motion of the follower, which is predetermined, and that predetermination that will be depends upon the shape of the cam. Here the shape of the cam, which plays very important role. The shape of the cam which play a very important role for the predetermined motion of a follower. The follower will always follow the cam, and according to the shape of the cam there is a predetermined motion, and that's why it is important to study the cam and follower motion. And where we can use this cam and follower, so there are wide area of application where we can use cam and follower. So we will see some of them, that the cams are widely used for operating the inlet and outlet exhaust of internal combustion engine. So here the any engine that you see which is running on petrol or diesel or anyhow, in that one there is a certain inlet and outlet valves which is required to flow of the burning gas or burning oil inside the cylinder, like petrol, diesel, or any gas. So in a 4-stroke cycle engine, suppose we know that there are 4 strokes: suction stroke, compression stroke, power stroke, and exhaust stroke. So in suction stroke, as we know that there will be a inlet of petrol. So how that suction valve will open, and how that suction valve is open after some time. Same way, exhaust valve. In exhaust valve, whatever the burned gas, that will be escape into the environment. So now, how the engine will identify that at after what time it has to open that exhaust valve, or it has to close the exhaust valve. So that whole operating of that inlet and outlet exhaust valves in any engine which is operated by the cam, and that is the use of a cam. Second, you will find that automatic attachment of machinery. In machinery, we have certain automatic attachment, and the machine has to follow that particular path. So that particular path or that particular attachment, automatic attachment, which is also operated by the cam. Same way, paper cutting machine, you can find the application of this in a paper cutting machine. Then spinning and weaving of textile machinery, feed mechanism of automatic lathe. So this cam and follower having a wide area of application, and there are so many applications in that one. The cam and follower that will be generally used to automate the uh, path. Okay, and that automatic mechanism or semi-automatic mechanism, you will find this cam and follower. And general and most important, you will find, or you have seen that it is in the inlet valve and outlet valve of the exhaust or any IC engine. So first of all, we are going to see what are the various classification of followers, because here we know that there are two important component, cam, and second one is a follower. So we have to see that what kinds of followers are available, what kinds of cams are available, and how this cam and follower having the motion, or they have a relative motion, so that we can get a certain output. Okay, so that we can operate all these things that what we have discussed in in that application of cam and follower. So for that, first of all, we should have a brief knowledge about the cam as well as follower. So first of all, we will talk about the various types of or classification of the follower. So the classification of the follower is categorized into, first, according to the surface in contact. According to the surface in contact. So in that one, we have first one is a knife edge follower. So here in this case, you can see this one is the cam, this one is the cam, and that cam is fixed on a shaft which is over here. This is the shaft, and on that shaft we have this cam, and this one is a follower. This one is a follower. So here it is a knife edge follower. So this one is the follower, and its edge you can see here, it has a edge like this. Okay, so it has a sharp edge, and that's why it is known as a knife edge follower. So when the contacting end of the follower, this is the contacting end, okay, this is the contacting end of the follower, has a sharp knife edge, then it is known as a knife edge follower. The sliding motion takes place between the contacting surface. Okay, so when this cam will rotate, according to that, the follower will move up and down. Okay, the follower in this gap, it will move up and down. Okay, so suppose after some time this cam will reach in this position like this after some rotation. Okay, if the cam is rotating in an anti-clockwise direction, and if it is reached at this position, then the follower knife edge will be here. Okay, so as you can see that it has a upward as well as downward oscillating motion. It is used widely in practice because of the small area of contacting surface result in excessive wear, and it is uh, you can see that it has a sharp edge, and due to that sharp edge, as this knife edge follower that will be in contact with the cam, there will be a excessive wear. Okay, and due to that excessive wear, the life of the follower is comparatively less, and in knife edge follower a considerable side thrust exists between the follower and the guide. Okay, so there is a lots of side thrust which is generated between the cam and follower when the knife edge follower will rotate on the or will move on the cam. So this is the first type of a follower, knife edge follower. Now in this same category, according to the surface contact, we have second follower, it is a roller follower. So as you can see in this diagram, this is the cam, and here now instead of knife edge, we have a roller. So when the contacting end of the follower is a roller, then it is known as a roller follower. Here the contacting end is a sharp edge. So that's why it is known as a knife edge. While here we use a roller, and that roller that will be in contact with the cam. So this kind of follower, it is known as a roller follower. Rolling motion takes place between the contacting surface, therefore the rate of wear is greatly reduced. Here we have a rolling surface, and due to that rolling surface, the wear is greatly reduced. While here in previous case we have a excessive, very high wear, because it has a sharp edge, and that sharp edge is directly contact with the cam, and as the cam will rotate, the knife edge that will be wear out, and due to that there will be a excessive force. While here the cam as well as the roller is also rotating. Okay, and due to that motion, rolling action, the wear that can be drastically reduced. And in roller follower also the side thrust exists between the follower and the guide. So okay, so again here the side thrust that will be exist between the follower and the guide. The roller followers are extensively used where more space is available. Where more space is available, such as in stationary gas and oil engine and aircraft engine. Okay, so this is the area of application where we will find a roller follower, and it require more space because we have to use a roller. While here we are just having a sharp edge, and that sharp edge is directly in contact with the cam. While here we are using a roller, and that roller has to be fixed at the end of the follower, and that's why it require more space as compared to this knife edge follower. So this roller follower having a less wear, but it has a side thrust, and it is widely used in a aircraft engine or a gas turbine or gas engine or oil engines. Okay, so these are the area of application where you will find a roller follower, and it is important one when you will give some competitive exam. In that they will directly ask that in aircraft engine which type of follower is used, and you will find these four option: knife edge, roller follower. Okay, and whatever we are going to study about the flat face and spherical. So in that case you have a you have to give the answer. So this is also important for exam point of view. Then in the same category, according to the surface contact, we have third follower, which is known as a flat-faced or mushroom follower. Flat face or mushroom follower. So when the contacting end of the follower is a perfectly flat face, then it is known as a flat faced follower. So here, as you can see, that this is the flat face. This one is the flat face, and that flat face is in contact with the cam, and that's why it is known as a flat faced follower. It may be noted that the side thrust between the follower and the guide is much reduced in this case of a flat face followers. Okay, so that side thrust, that is the problem in previous two cases, that will be drastically reduced in this flat faced follower. The flat face followers are generally used where the space is limited, such as in cam, which operate the valves of automobile engine. And when the flat face follower is circular, then it is known as a mushroom follower. Okay, so when this flat face follower is circular, okay, when this one is a circular, this one is the flat, but instead of that, if it is a circular, then it is known as a mushroom follower. Okay, so these two important things you have to remember. If it is a flat, then it is known as a flat face, but on the same flat face, if we have a circular circular end, then it is known as a mushroom follower. So this is the third kind of a follower. And last one is a spherical faced follower. So when the contacting end of the follower is of a spherical shape, then it is known as a spherical faced follower. Okay, so here it is a circular, then it is known as a mushroom. But if it is a spherical shape over here, then it is known as a spherical faced follower. And it may be noted that when a flat face follower is used in automobile engine, high stresses are produced. As we have discussed earlier, that it will be used in automobile engine. But if you use a flat face into automobile engine, a flat face follower in automobile engine, it may produce high stress. Okay, it may produce a high stress, and to reduce that or to minimize the stress, the flat end of the follower is machined to a spherical shape, and that is known as a spherical follower. So this is again important question, that in automobile engine, which type of valve is used. So in that case, spherical faced follower. And if it is a aircraft engine or gas or oil engine, then it is a roller follower. So these are the four category according to the surface in contact. Okay, we have first according to the surface in contact, and in that one we have subcategory. First one is a knife edge follower, second one is a roller follower, then third one is a flat faced follower or mushroom follower, and fourth one is a spherical faced follower. Then second category is according to the motion of the follower. First one is according to the surface in contact. Okay, surface in contact, while here according to the motion of the follower, according to the motion of the follower. So in that one, first is a reciprocating or translating follower. Reciprocating or a translating follower. So as you can see here, in all these three cases or all the four cases what we have discussed, this one is a knife edge, Okay, this one is the roller face, flat face, and if the flat face is having a spherical, then it is a spherical space. So in all the case that what we have discussed so far, in that one, when the cam will rotate, the follower will lift up or down. Same way here, if the cam will rotate in a circular in a roller follower, again it will lift up as well as it will lift down. Again here, in a flat face or a spherical follower, when the cam will rotate, the follower will lift up or down. Means it has a reciprocating motion. It will reciprocating up, reciprocating down, reciprocating up, down. Okay, so it has a continuous up motion and down motion in all discretes. Okay, it has a certain upper limit and certain lower limit, and within that it will continuously rotating up and down, and that's why it is known as a reciprocating or a translating follower. So all the knife edge follower, roller follower, flat face follower, that what we have discussed, that is a reciprocating or translating follower. Same way here, in this case, oscillating or a rotating follower. So in this case, when the uniform rotary motion of the cam is converted into predetermined oscillatory motion of the follower, then it is known as a oscillating follower. So as you can see here, this is our follower, and that one end of the follower which is hinge over here, okay, and then if we rotate the cam, so it has a certain oscillatory motion like this. It has certain oscillatory motion like this. Okay, so this one is known as a oscillatory follower or a rotating follower. Here it is a reciprocating or translating follower. Here it is a oscillating or rotating follower. So this is the classification according to the motion of the follower. The follower has two types of motion. One possible motion is a translatory or oscillating motion, and second possible motion is a oscillating or a rotating motion. Then third category is according to the path of motion of the follower. According to the path of motion of the follower. So first one in that one is a radial follower. When the motion of the follower is along the axis passing through the center of the cam, then it is known as a radial follower. So as you can see here, this is the cam, and the cam is fitted on the shaft which is over here. Now the shaft has a axis, this is the center axis. Now if the axis of this shaft of the cam and the axis of the follower are aligned with each other, this is the same. The axis of the here you can see, suppose this is the knife edge follower and this is the axis of that knife edge follower. Now if the axis of that knife edge follower, that is having the same axis of the cam like this, then this one is known as a radial follower. When the motion of the follower is along the axis, okay, along the axis, and that axis is passing through the center of the cam. The axis of the follower is passing through the center of the cam, then it is known as a radial follower. So it is important because this term which will be widely used when we will solve the problem. So if it is a radial follower or a second one is a offset follower. Okay, so it is given in the example. if it is a radial follower or offset follower, and according to that your design will change. So here again second one is a offset follower. So when the motion of the follower is along an axis away from the axis of the center of the cam. So you can see here this is the axis of the follower, and this one is the axis of the cam, center axis of the cam. So they are not matching with each other, but they have certain distance, and that distance is known as an offset. And that's why this type of follower motion, which is known as a offset follower, this is known as a offset follower, while this one, when the axis of the cam follower and axis of the cam, they are passing through each other, then it is known as a radial follower. But when they are away, they are not matching with each other, then it is known as a offset follower. So these are the classification of the follower. Basically there are A, B and C, three category. A is the classification of follower according to the surface area in contact, and in that one again we have four subcategories. First one is a knife edge follower, second one is a roller follower, third one is a flat face follower, and fourth one is a spherical faced follower. Then second category is the classification of follower according to the motion of the follower. So in that one we have a reciprocating or translatory motion, and second one is a oscillatory motion. Then third, according to the path of motion of the follower, and if they are axially aligned, then it is known as a radial, and if they are not axially aligned, then it is known as a offset follower. So these are the classification of follower. Then we will see the classification of second element, which is known as a cam. So the classification of the cam is, first one is a radial or disc cam, radial cam or a disc cam. So in the radial or a disc cam, the follower reciprocates or oscillates in a direction perpendicular to the cam axis. Okay, so here you can see this is the cam axis. Okay, this one is the suppose cam axis. Okay, this one is the cam axis, and the follower, suppose here this is the follower. So the follower axis has a perpendicular motion only. It can move only in this direction. Only perpendicular motion is possible. Then it is known as a radial cam. It is not allowed to go in this direction. So in this case, this one is totally restricted. So that in this case, the cam or the cam which will provide this kind of motion, then it is known as a radial or a disc cam. And second one is a cycloidal cam. So in this case, this one is the cam and this is the follower. This is the cam and this one is the follower. So in a cycloidal cam, the follower reciprocates or oscillate in a direction parallel to the cam axis. Parallel to the cam axis. So as you can see here, it has a shape like this. So as this cam will rotate, this follower that will go in this direction as well as in this direction, as it is indicated over here. So as this cam suppose move here, or this point will move here, then what will be the position of the cam? The cam will be over here. Means it has shifted towards this direction. Okay, and then as this will rotate slowly, it will shift and it will come to this position. So this is a reciprocating motion, and that reciprocating motion is parallel to the cam axis, while here it is a perpendicular to the cam axis. Here it is a perpendicular to the cam axis, while here it is parallel to the cam axis, as well as the follower rides in a groove as its cycloidal surface, a cycloidal groove cam with a reciprocating and oscillating followers that we can see in this one. So when we have a cylindrical cam with a reciprocating follower, so it has a motion like this. Okay, now here cylindrical cam with a oscillating follower, as you can see here, it has a reciprocating motion, but here if you see, then this follower can move only up to here as well as here, means it is oscillating. Here the location of the cam you will find it is at the top, so that it has a motion which is parallel to the axis, and it is a translatory motion. But here as you see that as the follower is fixed over here, and then if we rotate the cam, then the follower has a reciprocating motion like this, so oscillating motion like this. Okay, so these are the two possible ways to get the reciprocating motion which is parallel to the axis of the cam, as well as oscillating motion when we have a cylindrical cam. As you can see here, this is the cylindrical cam. If you see the side view, the cam having a shape like this, okay, and it is fixed at the center. If you see the side view, it is a shaft, one kind of a shaft, as you can assume it is as a one kind of a shaft. On that shaft we have a groove, and in that groove the cam will rotate. But here it is a disc form. So if you see the side view, suppose this is the cam, and if you see the side view, okay, if you draw the side view, then you will find a small thick plate, and that's why it is known as a disc. It is not a cylinder. If you see the side view, it will be like this. Okay, so it has certain thickness. This follower has a certain thickness, and that follower that is in the form of a disc. That's why it is known as a disc follower. While here it is in the form of a cylinder, and that's why it is known as a cylindrical cam. So these are the two classification of the cam. First, disc cam. Second one, cylindrical cam. In a disc cam, we have a motion of the follower which is perpendicular to the axis of the cam, while in a cylindrical cam, the motion of the follower which is parallel to the axis of the cam, or it has a oscillatory motion. So these are the classification of a cam. So we have seen the classification of follower first, and then we have seen the classification of cam. Now it is important to see certain terminologies of cam, because we have to design a cam according to the motion we require, because as we know that we require a predetermined motion, and to get that predetermined motion we have to generate, or we have to design a cam in such a way that whatever the predetermined motion which can be achieved, and to achieve that predetermined motion we should have a knowledge about how to design or how to generate that particular shape of a cam. And to get that particular shape of the cam, first of all we should have a knowledge about the basic terminologies of the cam. So in this one, these terminologies are very important to understand. If you do not know the terminologies of the cam, then it is very difficult for you to understand that what are the meaning of that each and every terminology and what it means to say when we design or when we draw a cam and follower profile. So it is important to see all the different terminologies and what that terminologies means to say. So first basic terminology is a base circle. It is the smallest circle that can be drawn on a cam profile. Okay, so this one is the cam profile. On that cam profile, this is the base circle. So it is the, you can see this is the smallest circle because this is the shaft. Okay, and on that shaft, this is the shaft. Okay, and on that shaft, the cam has to be fixed. As you can see, this is the cam shaft. Okay, so this is the shaft, and on that cam shaft, whatever be the smallest circle we can draw. Okay, so in all this diagram you can see this one is the smallest circle, and that circle is known as a base circle. This is the first terminology. Second, trace point. It is a reference point on the follower and is used to generate the pitch curve. So here second important terminal point come is a pitch curve. To generate the pitch curve we require a point, and that reference point on the follower is known as a trace point. Okay, so here this is the trace point. So this one, it is the reference point through which, here you can see this dashed line. This dashed line is nothing but it is a pitch curve. Okay, this dashed line is nothing but it is a pitch curve. Okay, so that dashed line is to be generated. To generate that dashed line, first of all we have to define a point, reference point, and that reference point which is known as a trace point. And how to define that reference point? For that one, in the case of a knife edge follower, the knife edge represents the trace point. Okay, so suppose this is the knife edge follower and this is the shaft, and here we have the cam like this. So whenever this knife edge point which is touching with the cam, and that point is a trace point in the case of a knife edge follower. This one is a trace point. Okay, it is important to understand because trace point is important for drawing a profile. So in a knife edge follower, when the knife edge is touching with the cam, and that point is known as a trace point. While in a roller follower, the center of the roller, here you can see, this is the point which is touching with the cam. Okay, but it is not considered as a trace point. In a roller follower, here it is a roller follower, as you can see this is the roller. Okay, so in roller follower, the center of the roller that will be represent the center trace point. Okay, so trace point will be different in a knife edge follower as well as in a roller follower. In a knife edge follower, the knife edge that will be represent the trace point. Whatever be the knife edge that will be directly represent the trace point. But in roller follower, the center of the roller that will be termed as a trace point. Okay, so this is the base circle and a trace point. Now there are many more terminologies still remain, but that we will see in our next lecture. So in today lecture we studied about the basic concept of cam and follower. We have seen the certain area of application where we can use cam and follower. Then we classified follower, then we classified cams, and we have started our discussion on basic terminologies of a cam.